Are you alone right now?
Welcome back to The Revenge Flame. Today's story begins with a marriage that looked warm, ordinary, and peaceful, the kind of love people admire from a distance and assume will last forever. My wife Aisha and I had been together for 6 years. We weren't perfect, but we had a rhythm morning tea together, small arguments over little things, late night laughs about nothing. Life felt steady, predictable, safe. Aisha worked in a corporate office. Always busy, always tired. But she still tried to make time for us. I appreciated that. I trusted her. Maybe more than I should have. Her birthday was coming up and all she talked about was celebrating with everyone. Important to her, she smiled when she said it. I smiled back. But inside my chest, something shifted. A tiny pinch of fear. A silent warning. A whisper that said, something is about to break. Before everything twisted into something unrecognizable, our life had a softness to it, a quiet comfort that felt permanent. Every morning, Aisha would wake up before me, open the curtains and let the sunlight fall across my face. Rise, sleepyhead, she'd whisper, laughing when I pulled the blanket over my head. On Sundays, we'd walk to the old bakery at the end of our street. She always ordered the same thing, chocolate. Croissants, and complained that they were too sweet, even though she finished every bite. I loved watching her talk with her hands, her eyes alive, her smile uncontrollable. We had dreams too, a small house outside the city, a dog, maybe a child someday. We planned a future with the kind of confidence only love can give you. There were nights we stayed up late watching old movies, her head on my chest, her fingers tracing patterns over my arm. Nights when she told me I was her safe place. Looking back now, those moments feel like they belonged to someone else. Like memories borrowed from a different lifetime, one that ended far earlier. Then I realized. The signs didn't come all at once. They never do. They slip in quietly. Like shadows stretching across a room you thought was well. At first it was her phone. Aisha used to leave it anywhere on the couch. In the kitchen, on the bed while she showered, but suddenly it stayed face down, always within reach, always locked. The moment I walked into the room, she'd smile if I glanced at it, but it was the kind of smile that didn't touch her eyes. Then came the urgent work obligations, late meetings, weekend planning sessions, her boss needing help with a big project. She insisted it was temporary, that she was just proving herself, and I believed her, or maybe I wanted to. Her attitude shifted to, not in ways people notice, instantly no shouting, no Cold War, just small things. She stopped reaching for my hand when we watched movies, stopped resting her head on my shoulder during long car rides. Her hugs grew shorter, her goodbyes quicker. Even her social media changed. More stories at work, dinners, office gatherings, group selfies, always with the same man standing near her, her boss. She said it meant nothing. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. All I knew was this. The warmth in our home was fading, and she didn't notice or she didn't care. It happened on a Tuesday night, one of those nights, so quiet you can hear the refrigerator humming, the clock ticking, your own heartbeat echoing in the dark. Aisha had fallen asleep beside me, her back turned, her breathing soft and steady. I wasn't asleep yet. Something in me had been restless for weeks. That's when her phone lit up. Not a normal notification, a video call request, from a name I'd never seen before, but one I instantly understood. Her boss? I didn't touch the phone. I didn't wake her. I just watched the screen glow against her sleeping face, watched the call repeat, watched her fingers twitch like she was expecting it. Then a message appeared, just 5 words, but enough to break something inside me. Are you alone right now? My chest tightened, but I stayed still. No shouting, no tears, just a heavy, controlled silence. The kind that comes when you finally see the truth forming in front of you. The next morning, the air between us felt different, heavier. Like the house itself knew something I hadn't said aloud. Aisha was making tea, humming softly, pretending the world was normal. I watched her for a moment, then quietly said, Aisha, your boss called you last night. Her hand froze midair, just for a second. Then she forced a smile, the same practiced one I'd been seeing for weeks. Oh, it must have been a mistake. He calls the team sometimes. Long project. You know how it is. I didn't react, didn't raise my voice. I just replied, he asked if you were alone. Her breath caught. The smile fell apart. There was a long silence before she sank onto the chair, rubbing her forehead like she'd practiced this moment in her mind many times. Listen, I've been under a lot of stress. He's been supportive. More supportive than you lately. Her voice trembled, but her words were sharp. We started talking, venting it. It got emotional. I didn't mean for it to become something complicated. I nodded slowly, my face calm, my pulse steady. I wasn't angry, not visibly. I was just observing the person I thought I knew reveal a truth she'd been hiding. .com breaks people faster than rage ever could. Something shifted inside me that morning, not anger, not heartbreak. Something colder. a quiet storm. While Aisha rushed off to work, avoiding my eyes, I sat alone at the dining table, staring at the untouched tea she'd made for me. For the first time, I didn't feel the urge to fix us. I felt the urge to protect myself. I opened my laptop, checked bank statements, tracked her late-night rides, her sudden expenses. The dinners, she claimed, were team meetings, everything lined up too neatly. I saved screenshots, printed call logs, even recorded my own notes dates. Changes in her behavior the night her boss called, not out of revenge, but clarity. Then I called a lawyer. A quiet consultation, simple questions, simple answers. By evening, I felt nothing. No warmth, no fear. Just a steady, controlled detachment. The kind that comes before walking away. Not in anger, but in certainty. I didn't confront her again. I didn't argue. I didn't warn her. Revenge, I realized, doesn't always need noise. Sometimes it needs timing. And her birthday was only 3 days away. The same birthday she insisted her boss should attend, so I made sure he did. On the night of her celebration, the house was decorated, the lights warm, the music soft. Aisha looked beautiful, nervous, excited, the perfect performance of a loving wife. Her boss arrived right on time, carrying a bouquet, smiling to easily. I said nothing, just waited for the moment everyone was gathered. Glasses raised for her birthday toast. Then, calmly, I placed a neatly sealed envelope on the table, her name written in my handwriting. Inside, screenshots, call records, hotel receipts, and at the very end, the signed divorce papers. No shouting, no scene. Just truth laid out like a mirror she was finally forced to look into. I warned you, I said softly. If you bring him to your birthday, everything ends tonight. And then I walked out, leaving her silence behind me. The silence that followed was louder than any fight we ever had. I didn't block her. I didn't text her. I simply disappeared from her daily life. And that's when she truly began to fall apart. The first call came an hour after I left the birthday party. Her voice was shaking, breathless. Please, please just talk to me. We can fix this. I ended the call without a word. The next day, she showed up outside my office, mascara smudged, hands trembling as she begged. I didn't love him. I was just lost. You're my home. Security had to gently guide her away. Then came the social media posts, sad quotes about mistakes, heartbreak, second chances. People noticed. Her friends asked questions she couldn't answer. One night, she left a voicemail, sobbing uncontrollably. You were the only person who ever stayed. Don't leave me like this. But her desperation arrived too late. The man she betrayed wasn't angry anymore, he was gone. We finally met again, a week later at a quiet legal mediation office. Chosen for its neutral walls and silent corners, Aisha arrived early. Her eyes were swollen, her hands trembling, her breath shallow. She looked like someone trying to hold herself together with threads already broken. I sat across from her, calm, steady, the divorce file resting in front of me. She stared at it as if it were a bomb. Please, she whispered. Just hear me. One last time. Her voice cracked. I didn't mean to lose us. I didn't think you'd actually leave. I know I messed up, but you're my husband. You're supposed to fight for me. I looked at her for a long moment before responding. My tone even detached. Aisha, I did fight for us. You just didn't notice while you were busy fighting for someone else. Her breath hitched. Tears spilled before she could stop them. The lawyer slid the final agreement across the table. She hesitated 1 second, 2, 3, then finally signed. Her hands shaking so hard the pen nearly slipped. When she looked up, realization filled her eyes. Not anger, not denial, just the cold understanding that this was truly the end. I stood, collected the papers, and said my final line quietly. Some endings happen because of fate. This one, you chose yourself. Then I walked out of the room. And she didn't follow. I walked her to the building's exit. Not out of love, but out of respect for what we used to be. She followed a few steps behind, wiping her face, fighting for breath. Outside, the evening air was cool. The kind of calm that feels like the world is starting over without you. Aisha, she whispered, reaching for my hand the way she once did every morning. I gently pulled my hand away. Not harsh, just final. Her eyes broke again. Is this really it? She asked, voice small, trembling. You're really letting me go. I looked at her one last time, the woman I once loved. The woman who taught me how easily trust can be burned, and I gave her the line that closed the chapter forever. I'm not walking away from love. I'm walking away from the version of you that stopped loving me. She froze, the words hitting harder than anger ever could. Then I turned, took a quiet breath, and walked into the night. Free, steady, and finally at peace. Life became quiet in the best way. No tension, no guessing, no heavy nights. I moved into a small apartment with big windows, the kind that lets sunlight fall across the floor every morning. Silence didn't feel empty anymore. It felt healing. My days found a new rhythm. Early walks, simple meals, peaceful evenings without checking anyone's phone but my own. I learned to breathe again, to trust myself again. One morning, a gentle sunrise filled the room, warm and soft. My phone buzzed, a friend inviting me for coffee. I smiled. A new chapter had begun. quietly and beautifully. Thank you for watching The Revenge Flame. Some stories burn fast, and some burn quietly, the way this one did, with truth, timing, and a final goodbye that spoke louder than anger ever could. Now, I want to hear from you. If you were in his place, discovering the signs, seeing the truth, facing that final moment, what would you have done? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your perspective matters, and your story might be the next one we bring to life here. Until then, stay strong and stay aware.